Dear Misty, should I rekindle a friendship with someone who walked away and really, really hurt me when they found out that I could possibly be HIV positive? Ouch. Yeah, that's tough. That's hardcore tough. Now, I think it's funny that you ask me this question because I can't really say yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't. Because I don't know you, I don't know this person, and I don't know the situation around your circumstance. However, what I can say is, are you ready to rekindle that friendship? Have you healed? Have you forgiven? Have you moved on? And I ask these questions because if you have not forgiven and if you have not moved on, no. Keep the distance. Don't rekindle the friendship. But if you have forgiven, I don't know how long it's been, but if you have forgiven and you have moved on, absolutely. 100% yes. If they are ready to be your friend, and they panicked, and they freaked out, and they didn't know how to react, and they ran away because they didn't know what to do when they found out you could possibly be HIV positive, and they're ready to be your friend now, I think that, yeah, you should definitely be their friend again. Assuming it's been a couple years, HIV is a very scary disease. Huge scary. Especially a couple years ago. Now, I remember I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old. And I've said many, many times that I am the son of a minister. Clearly I'm a daughter. The son of a minister. And was raised in the church. And imagine my mom and dad and 7 kids living in a 3-bedroom house. Not a joke. And imagine there's a person who's dying and a person who's in our church. Now imagine, maybe this story will help you, maybe not, but it's a little piece of my personal testimony. Now go with me on a journey, okay? I'm 12 years old, the daughter son of a minister. I live with my mom and my dad and my 7 brothers and sisters, 4 girls, 3 boys. We live in a 3-bedroom house in the country, on a farm. And in the church, somebody was real bad sick. And we didn't know at the time, but they were dying. And they had repented and come back to Jesus and asked forgiveness, but had nowhere to go because their family had turned against them. Now, my family knew that this person was coming to God and asking for forgiveness of being a homosexual. Back then, I thought it was wrong, and I thought it was a curse, and I did not think that God would ever make somebody gay. Times have changed. But we're on a journey to the past. And this person was real bad sick. And he was sleeping on our couch, or I can't remember. I think Mom put a cot or a mattress in the pantry so he could have his own, privacy. But no, I can't remember. I can't remember if he slept on the couch or in the pantry. Anyways, he lived with us. All 7 kids, and we became very close with him. Drank after him, ate after him, hugged him, loved him, sat on the couch with him. And all of a sudden, he got really sick. Bad. And this was late 80s, early 90s. And all of a sudden, he's in the hospital with pneumonia. Dying. We didn't know. And we were all at the hospital. And all of a sudden, my mom is furious. Storms out of the hospital. And goes home. My dad, said his prayers and whatever, and wound up the kids, and we all climbed into his car. When we got home, my mom had stopped and got like 3 bottles of bleach, and was bleaching everything in the whole house. She was bleaching the toilets, the kitchen sink, the cups, the plates. Meanwhile, his name was Dana, but he had lived in our house for 6 months. And if we were going to become HIV positive, or if he was going to infect us, it would have already happened. And my mom was freaking out because she didn't know. It was a time when nobody knew how you contracted HIV. It was a time when there was not a lot of education. And she was pissed because he knew he was positive. And she felt that he put her kids at jeopardy and didn't tell her. You know, she let us go to the hospital and say goodbye because he was dying, and he did die. But she would not go back to the hospital because she felt betrayed. Now, I'm quite sure my story has nothing to do with your story. But years later, my mom felt terrible because she let a dying man on his deathbed die. And granted, he should have told my mother, but in that time, in that day, in that era, he probably knew she was going to freak out. And then he would be homeless. I'm not saying what he did is right, I'm not saying what he did is wrong. And I'm definitely not saying what my mom did is right or my mom did is wrong. But I don't blame either one of them. And I'm not saying that if I was in their position, I would probably do it differently. But now, it's 2011. 20 years later. And we now know that you could only catch HIV from a needle or exchange of body fluids. Somebody has to come inside your body. And now, oddly enough, it's no longer a gay disease. I mean, it's still a gay disease. HIV is still very predominant in the gay community. But right now, there are more women in the United States of America that are HIV positive than men. And that's sad, and that's very scary, because for some reason, women don't wear condoms. Girls, if you're watching this video, please, yes, have birth control so you don't get pregnant, but please, unless you're married, wear a condom. If a man comes inside of you and he has something, you are going to get it. You're very vulnerable. You're very susceptible to whatever he has. If he even pre-comes inside of you, you could get diseases. Don't let it happen. And yes, I've said it before, many straight men have gay sex. And then they go home to their wives, and they go home to their girlfriends, and they have sex with their spouses, and their wives, and their girlfriends. Or, if they aren't cheating on you, they might have had gay sex last week before they met you. You don't know. You have to respect yourself and protect yourself. And if a guy doesn't want to wear a condom, there's a condom for females, and you can wear it. Ooh, sorry. Huge tangent. Back to you. I do apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm very passionate about HIV. Okay. Yes, if you have healed, and yes, if you have moved on, and yes, if you can forgive, I absolutely 100% definitely think that you should reach out and befriend that person. Because it's scary. And it's something that they don't understand, and they probably didn't know how to deal with and or cope with it. And obviously, you have dealt with it. And if you're ready to be their friend, I think it's time for you to be their friend as well. Anyways, loving you is easy. Thanks for listening. And sorry I went a little crazy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.